My name is Rukus. That's what everybody calls me. So people call me Obi. My name is Obidiah, the actual over name or real name, I suppose, government name. I am 37. And also, what would I describe myself? I describe myself as a musician, an artist, and I don't know, a youth leader or whatever. I don't know what the label is for that madness there, but yeah, a human being.
Okay, what have you done in the industry?
In terms of what, music industry or
Both.
wow.
Music first.
Okay.
Music first.
As a musician, I basically started in 2005 as an artist, as a solo artist called Rukus. Put out a tune called Let It Go featuring Ty and Kalashnikov. That kind of really catapulted me onto the UK hip hop scene in terms of being playlisted on Radio 1, One Extra, etc., etc., and took me around the world. The tune actually was in America, Japan, vice versa, Europe, etc. So that was kind of a certified classic hit for UK first, and that was my first song. So the pressure was quite strong because it was like the first time I've actually recorded a song and put it out, and it's just basically taken by storm, basically. So I'll give thanks for that. The next, I did a couple other stuff, done stuff for shows for One Extra, etc., etc. And then the next kind of break, I would suppose, would be I did the remix of Valerie, Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson track called Valerie. Baby J did the remix of the track, and I ended up doing the 8-bar. I kind of do the intro and do the 8-bar verse on the track, and then basically from there the track blew up again, and it ended up being the B-side of the actual single, the Mark Ronson single, which then made us go on tour with Mark Ronson. So we was on tour with Mark Ronson for about a year. Ended up doing actually going on tour with Jay-Z because of that as well. And so I was unsigned as an artist, but doing these big arenas, wireless festivals, etc., etc., and in front of 20,000 people because of this 8 lines I wrote, literally. And then so that was around about 2008-ish, I would say. And then from there, the next time was 2010. We had a band. I created a live band called the Trinity band, and we were doing lots of bits and pieces. We're doing stuff locally and kind of getting a buzz up and basically just putting in the work. Then in 2010, we had the opportunity to go on a TV program, a national talent TV program called Must Be the Music, which was judged by Dizzy Rascal, Charlene Spiteri, and Jamie Cullum. Ended up getting to the last 15 of that actual program, which again, we ended up releasing a single off the back of the show, and again put us in another kind of, I suppose, out there. We got to perform live on TV. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the finals. Fix. But nothing, say nothing. I was playing, but yeah, and then from there we've just been touring and doing what we was doing. So we was doing a lot of festivals. Then in 2011, we entered a competition, we still unsigned. We entered another competition called Live and Unsigned, which is a national band competition for all sorts of genres. And we won the entire thing out of 10,000 bands. So we were crowned the best unsigned band in the whole of the UK. Supposedly we're supposed to have won £50,000, a record deal and all that, but none of these things sufficed. And so we ended up doing everything ourselves. And yeah, I think the rest is history. There's more, but we can spend a lot of time just speaking about the music side of stuff, but they're the kind, I suppose, are the main milestones.
Could you give us the 8-bar?
Of the Valerie tune?
Straight to camera.
Wow, okay. Me no know the reason why. Truth me not lie. Valerie up. You know what? Wow. I can't remember. Valerie up. This is not like. Yeah. Another top ranking got me skanking. Let me try and hit this. Can't say I've not actually done this for years. I mean, I know the reason why. Joke me not lie. Valeria Bex, I can't remember that line. To understand the reason, got me standing upon the ceiling, reaching for the sky. Healing come by. I wonder how you been, cause I ain't seen you since July. I hope you learn to smile. Sincerely, you have style. So won't you come on over, let me. You know what? Allow it, innit? Cause don't put that in there, innit? Because yo, I can't remember it. But I'd have to listen to it once and then come back and give you the vibes. But it's just a couple of lines a bit shaky, so I'll allow that.
Can we keep that in the edit?
No, it's cool. That's how it is. I have so many lyrics up in my head. I write consistently. Actually, I want to even talk about music-wise. I also did poetry. So we actually was commissioned by Apples and Snakes, and I ended up doing a one-man show, which basically was again a nice highlight. I ended up performing at a festival called Big Chill, and for a year I spent a year researching and doing this one-man show, which was based upon post-Cold Wars and beefs and etc., and ended up performing at Data in Derby, and playing all three characters, which was a quite a boisterous male, a young female, and another geezer, which was quite interesting. You know what I mean? So there's other things that I do, and obviously on the poetry side as well. I went on tour last year, and I created and wrote and creative produced a show called We Live the Dream, and which was based upon lightly based upon obviously it was the 50th anniversary of MLK's speech, I Have a Dream. So I kind of took a couple of artists from different genres, and we kind of created a actual piece which was about an hour long, which was based upon the speech, but also what our dreams was. And yeah, I'm really proud of that piece as well. So we kind of toured with that over the UK, around the UK, and did that as well. But there's so much I can't remember. But yeah, I suppose.
So Mr. Rukus, what drives you?
Um,
Driving force behind you. What's the reason why you wake up every single morning and do what you do?
Love is the key. Love is the key for everything. When you have love, you vibrate at a different frequency. Do you know what I mean? And me being a spiritual person and understanding myself in that respect, that's what I do it for. I do it for the love. Everything I do is do for the love. And if it wasn't for the love, I wouldn't be doing it, because there's times when it's been that hard that it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it's not financially benefiting me or etc. So it has to be about the love. And the reason why I still have to there's the same fire that I have for what I do now than when I started when I was 10 years old or whatever, is because of the love of it. Do you know what I mean? The love. And I suppose also I am highly ambitious as a person. So I always feel I'm underachieving. So I take everything because it's the first time. Every time I put a track out, I believe it's the first time I'm putting something out. It never is like, oh, wow. It's only times when I go do shows or I see people and they're expressing it to me, like they're looking at me like, yo, what you done so much? And I'm thinking, I don't even look at the stuff I've done. I just think about what's now and what I've got. There's more to do. So I suppose I still feel I'm a new artist at all times. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and I still think I'm like 18, basically.
Who or what inspires you?
Life in general. I know that's a bit vague in that, but I think just what inspires me. I've come from Birmingham, Handsworth, which is an area which is people downtrodden, but it's a good area. But like there's elements of things that happen, and what I've experienced through growing up there is called a so-called ghetto or inner city. So when I go back, people are so happy for me. Like, wow, you made it out. And I'm like, really? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of vibe. But I remember sitting down in my room in Birmingham in Handsworth and thinking, one day I'm gonna be on stage and I'm gonna be doing these things. And I remember it was my 30th birthday and I was actually on stage and I was on the tour with Jay-Z, and I looked out and it was a wireless festival and I could see 40,000 people in front of me, and it's my birthday, and I'm thinking, wow, like, you know what? These are the dreams I had. These are the things, and I believe that anything that your mind can conceive, it can become a reality. So I'm inspired by knowing that I am a living example to people that life is what you make it. You understand? So I'm driven by the people around me, the people that haven't done as well, the people that want to do well but haven't got the means, etc. So I feel like I take it on myself as being that leader, like, yo, like if Rox can do it, then I can do it. Or just even if it's just a little thing you're doing, they're like, yo, we felt, there's people that come to me and hug me, like, yo, Rox, you know what? I see you on TV, and I'm like, it's nothing to us, I suppose, but that's not a braggadocious, egotistical thing, because we do what we're doing. It's like, it becomes something and we don't realize the amount of impact that has. I was the first person when I did a video and I said, this ghetto youth from right now, Handsworth, Aya, Wire or Wireless, Flow by Flow. And the amount of people that come to me goes, yo, you mentioned Handsworth on the TV, I'm watching the TV. And I didn't know how much the impact by me just saying that line. So people were proud, like, yo, I'm proud because he said, don't get twisted, I'm not really caught up in areas and where to, I mean, you know, we just live in the world, but it was just the fact that people looked up to me in that way, and I understood that made me have to be positive with my lyrics and say the right things, because I understood that I had if one or two people are trying to listen to you, then you have a duty to provide them with something that they can take back, or something of some substance. And that's the way I was brought up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to waste my voice or waste what I have, or use it for foolishness. You know what I mean?
Have you always been quite consciously aware of what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very conscious because I grew up in a Rasta household, and as a Rasta, you are taught from day dot. Like, you know, I say I speak in, because everything, my life is in my rhyme. So I say I'm Rasta from the root, so I know about blazing fire, beating drums from a youth. I used to beat the drums with my parents. I understood certain spiritual things from young. Do you know what I mean? And understood the realities of what my presence as a black man in the community and what I did would impact. And I felt that, and that was instilled in us from young. Whether we liked it or not. Do you know what I mean? Because when we was younger, we kind of tried to rebel, like, yeah, whatever, boom. But I understand more now, as I get older, why certain things are instilled within me. And it's made me who I am. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, from very early understood my importance and the importance of what I had to say, and just the fact that, you know what I mean, words manifest themselves into flesh, you know what I mean? Like, what you say does manifest. So be careful what you say and how you say it, no matter what's said. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think we're losing some of that value base that you grew up on?
Yeah, definitely. It happens because the earth evolves, and, you know, we go through different periods of times, and I don't want to get too deep on all that, because we're going through a period of exchange. Like, at the time right now, obviously, if you understand, like, changes from, you know, the age going to the age of Aquarius, and I can go into deepness of certain things has to happen. You know, everything has to replenish, everything has to evolve. So we're at a period of time where we are going through that. We're going through a quickening period where things are mad. People are dropping left, right, and center, whether that's, emotionally, mentally, depressed, etc. We're in that period of time. We will come out of that time. It's just how the earth runs. You know what I mean? Without actually start going into some other complete discussion, I think that's enough, you know what I mean? So yeah, we have lost it, but we just gotta keep the faith. Those that know, keep the faith and say the right things, and be telling and making people understand and providing that empowerment, so that people understood that there is going to be change, and obviously after a storm there must be a calm, you know what I mean? So we're in a storm period at the moment, but it will resolve. But if you have the mentality and a strong mental mind, then you'll come out the other end in a way. But keep the faith, because yeah, that's it really. I don't go too much into that. You know.
How did you end up in Derby?
I ended up in Derby by accident, basically. I didn't want to come to Derby. I was in Birmingham, and I got to a point in Birmingham where I was just around certain things, and I had to get out in a way, without going into too much detail. But then I went to see my careers advisor. I'd already got certain qualifications, but wasn't looking to really ever go uni or nothing like that. So I'd already been out of school for 1 year. I thought, let me get some money. They used to do these things called YT schemes. So I thought, yeah, I can get a little change on the side. Did a YT scheme, so I got MVQ in business admin. Just a little play thing, £30-something a week. I was cool. But then I thought, nah, like, what am I gonna do now? Went to the advisor, and they said, you know what, you got enough grades to go to uni, why don't you do that? And I thought, And they said, you get a grant for it as well. I was like, really? Like, okay, so I'm gonna get some money to go like things. So I was like, okay, this is the quickest way I can really get out of Birmingham. So I thought to myself, I don't even want to be out there for long. I'm just gonna couple years and come back. So I kind of decided to go to, I tried to apply for uni to do a H&D in business management. I tried to get into Nuts because that's where I really wanted to go. And 6 other places what you pick on your UCAS form, nobody accepted me. There's only one place accepted me, and it was Derby. So if I wanted to go anywhere, I had to come to Derby. So I don't think it wasn't, again, as I believe in how things happen, everything happens for a reason. I was supposed to come here. So yeah, I ended up in Derby, did a H&D, a business management H&D for 2 years, finished that, decided to go, you know what, I like the place, it's calm, it's, you know what, it's all right. I ended up staying and doing another 2 years to do a degree in marketing and tourism, done that. And then when I finished, I was like, am I gonna leave? Nah, because realistically, with what I could start thinking, I already started to do my music stuff and that, and I thought, here needs it more than where, like, there's a lot of people doing the similar things in Birmingham. So I think the way the community was here, I felt like what I could do or what I could bring here would have more impact. So I suppose that's really kind of made me go, you know what, I'm gonna stay here and try and see what I can do here, musically, youth-wise, whatever. And then, cut a long story short, we started to, the idea of doing a youth crew was always in my mind. The Trinity stuff was always in my mind, but it hadn't come to fruition yet. So I got around the right people, and it wasn't just me, because I say like it was the name, I created the name, and the vision was there from me. But there's a lot of other people that was a part of creating what we created as well. So I don't want to take away from that as well. But yeah, that's another whole story as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, to cut a long story short, uni brought me to Derby, but then I stayed because I liked Derby and I liked the vibe of it, and I felt I could do something here of some significance.
Okay, earlier on you said you did a few, well, you class yourself as a youth worker.
Yeah,
what projects do you think you
I actually started, as I said, I started a group called Trinity, and that started out of us just really chilling, and I used to have decks and stuff, and I used to DJ, and people used to come around my house. So a lot of the youth used to come around my house and stuff, and we used to start going, yo, we're gonna call ourselves Trinity. To cut a long story short, I'd always watched Rampage, and as a youngster, as a DJ, I was like, Rampage was the epitome of, like, they were the top, they were the dons, like, and the way they had the unit, there was a unit of them, there was a crew, and I was like, yo, we're gonna do this crew, we're gonna have a DJ crew, music, we have the MCs, it's gonna be called Trinity. So it kind of began off the basis of being a music, but at the same time it evolved into something else and started to grow into this whole thing, because there's that much little youths around me, then it ended up just becoming that. And then the first break we got in terms of, I started to go out and actually go to different people and spoke to your James Burkmars and your arts councils, your Stephs. I spoke to a lot of people basically about how I could get help in order to make this thing bigger, I suppose, or support for the youth that I was working with. We was doing this without no funding, no help or whatever, just doing it out off the basis of just the love. And then a woman called Shabnam Shabazi was working at Derby Playhouse, and basically what happened was she on a project called BAD, which was Black and Asian Development, and trying to get I ended up being an outreach officer in working at the Derby Playhouse for that actual project, and obviously spoke with her about what I'm trying to do with the Trinity. Quite long story short, we ended up, Trinity became, I suppose, and officially started to run a weekly class, and which evolved Trinity into what it was. From that was the beginning of us becoming what we are today, I suppose. Yeah. Because that was the first person that took a chance on us and said, you know what, here's the building, you can have what you want to do. And we started to do this hip hop theatre class, which obviously involved all the stuff that we wanted, the DJing, dancing, and MC and etc. And we started to write plays and have a weekly class where we were developing young people in these art forms.
Regarding the work that you currently do, what do you think is missing in the community that you would like to see happening?
you know what, togetherness, like together, the key thing is community is common unity. So you have to, what's happening is people are doing things which are community based but by themselves, like in a way, you know what I mean? So everyone's trying to be the king of the castle in that way. I don't mean it in a bad way, but I feel like there's still not unity. So it's like, as again, the main thing and what Trinity was about was getting youths to understand or empower them to say unity is strength. Like, you can be a gang and be on some madness and negativity, but you can be a gang, or not even a gang, a family, and be on some positive things. So I feel like it's important, what I feel is missing is just the connections, because there's somebody that's doing this here and they're missing something, and this person's doing this here, but what they're missing is what this person's doing here. And it's like there's not the communication enough where the things are connecting. And if you connect the things, the stronger it is. The same thing within the music industry in Derby. Like, a lot of youths are doing their thing, but like what made us, the impact that we created back then in the mid-90s is because we were consistently putting out music as a unit. So whether it was Baby J, me, Yogi, Shades, Alex Blood, we was all impacting, and it made Derby, like, people looking to Derby like, wow, Derby's going on with things. So it's and even though we weren't a part of one thing, people thought that because the way we was working, and that's unity. Unity creates strength. Many hands make work light. So realistically, that's what's missing for me personally. And a lot of the times, a lot of people are doing things and are unsung. That's why I love stuff like this, because there might be people doing stuff and I don't know what they're doing. So I could actually be involved in that project, or I can help, but I don't know, because there's the process of it being. People don't shout enough about what they're doing, because everybody's humble, like, oh, no. But I feel it's important that people shout about what they're doing, because how are we supposed to know what's going on? So there's a lot of things that are going on that are great within our community, but we don't know. And half of the people don't know. Do you know what I mean? So there needs to be more ways of showcasing that and showing to people and actually making people be aware of what's going on and how they can get involved. And new ways of thinking of how to do things, that's the key as well. We gotta think outside the box. Things evolve, the world's evolved, life has evolved. Like, what we were doing 10 years ago can't work now. Do you know what I mean? Things have changed. Social media is now a big thing. All these things that can be used needs to be used, because it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? And I understand that, because I've been teaching young people for 11 years. The classes that I did 10 years ago, I can't do them anymore, because I'm getting kids who are more savvy than me on certain things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they understand things. So I got to go with that. I have to evolve. And if you don't evolve, you become extinct. It's important. And that's what's happening. So, yeah, I suppose, that's the main thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
So if it got to a point where, well, it will get to a point where between now and 100 years, and Rukus has to describe his legacy, and we have to send it to another race or alien race or whatever, what would be in that capsule? What would you like to see in there, or words?
Wow, okay, that is really deep. That's so much to think about. If on a personal level, I would like people to speak of Rukus as, he created a legacy, I suppose. Like, the main thing is there's a legacy created, but he tried to add to existence. His existence wasn't a waste. Like, he tried to do as much as he could. Like, I'm a believer, like, you never go before your time. You're here for a purpose, and your journey ends when your journey is supposed to end, whether that's 10 years from now or whether that's tomorrow. But in terms of what I would like to be in this capsule with me, or the words, I'll just say, like, love. I keep saying that, but I genuinely believe that love is the key. Love is actually the key. Like, and I say that consistently, because it really is. Because if we look at things through love, and I keep talking about how we resonate, our frequency we resonate at, it's like when you resonate with the frequency of love, it's a high. So we're connected to a higher being on that level. So the more we can resonate at a higher level, life is enjoyable. And again, it's the frame of mind, because nothing can defeat us if you feel like in that way. So I don't know if on any of that makes sense, but that's how I would say love then. And I don't want this to sound cheesy or very thingy, but love is the key. Love is the key. Love what you do, love everybody, love each other. And if that's the case, then life we would seem, or will be, a lot more easier. if we understood that to the degree that we need to. Do you know what I mean? Community is S. Community is S.